Okay, welcome everybody to our call today called 2012 Enlightened. My name is Damien Sen and it's a great pleasure having you on the line today. Now, I've been really keen and excited about doing a call on 2012 for some time now, but I hadn't really found the right person to actually co-facilitate that call with me. And it was only when the lovely Katrina, my collaborative partner on the People You Should Meet project, actually came across Brad's work and showed it to me, and we both immediately had an intuitive hit that Brad was the guy to actually interview and share insights into this topic. He's got a phenomenal background in terms of the times that we're in, and also like a real heart-centered approach to sharing his insights. How you doing there, Brad?
Great. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to your listeners for listening.
Great. Now, I guess, Brad, so much has been said about this time of 2012, and I guess with our listeners, like some people may have only just recently been exposed to the idea of 2012, some may be much more versed, but I was just wondering if you could actually share your understanding of this time that we're in right now.
Well, 2012 has many aspects to it. There's the great revealing that's mentioned in the Mayan calendar and the Mayan belief system. The other aspects are the thing that everyone likes to talk about, the doom and gloom or the cataclysmic aspect. And then the other is the spiritual transformation. So when we combine the three elements, it all represents 2012. Because 2012 on its own is the revealing of our past. Who are we? Who are we really? Where did we come from? Why are we here? What people should know is that we have two sets of DNA. The human DNA also integrates all of the races of humankind right now. And in that DNA there has been the master geneticists that have come and manipulated that DNA about 200,000 years ago when we deviated from the primate. That was the missing link. And then the other side of it is the tachyon light energy. So the tachyon light energy is an interesting aspect as well, because the aura or energy field within all life forms is made up of this tachyon light energy or tachyon light particles. And this is a scientific term that's used by the physicists. So tachyon light particles are the energy that make up the main elements or the particles of the atom, the neuron cells, etc. But this energy, this light, interconnects all the cells, and that light actually is the microcosm of the universal being, or the cell of life. Or we could look at it as our connection to the living library of the universe. So that becomes who we really are. So in this physical domain of the third dimension, which is this density of our evolution, which is part of it's like the container to develop this spiritual connection. We get lost in the illusions. And the illusions are the things that are created by the lower evolved self. And it keeps us from understanding who we really are. So when we expand this cell, this tachyon light energy into the physical mass or density, this energy then expands into the macrocosm of the universe. So the tiny cell particle of light becomes the macrocosm of the universe and interconnects everything. So understanding that is how we understand where we've come from, because there's lots of higher evolved beings that are our brothers and sisters of the light, that have helped us and guided us through eons and through our different civilizations. A lot of the Vedic depictions of deities are actually light teachers that have come and tried to help us, and different incarnations are in fact the light teachers to a degree, depending which ones. So when we see this and how it all integrates, there's been this battle going on of our lower self, this density here, and who wants to control this density. So 2012 becomes this battle of understanding. It becomes a battle on, like when we start looking at all the things that have been happening in the world lately, it kind of creates, a reality check. So the revealing is this time of understanding of who we really are and exposing, shining a light on the dark side, the dark, lower density elements that want to keep us and our attention on the lower self. The mark of the beast, they say, is the mark that's on the forehead. They say the 666 or whatever that is. And it's not such a physical mark as it is where we put our attention. So if we put our attention on the lower self and all of the things that are created by the lower density elements, like the Illuminati, et cetera, through the music or through the things that they create, or to distract us, the wars, the problems, then we start to keep our focus there. And that becomes the Antichrist. That becomes our connection. But if we transcend that sixth chakra, and instead of putting our attention outward on that level and go through the Sahasrara chakra, the top chakra, and start connecting to the higher dimensions through our connection with the Kundalini awakening or our spiritual understanding, as that happens, we start going into the higher dimensions and connecting to the living library of the universe, because it's divided into multiple ethereal planes or dimensions. But this tachyon light energy, which is our spiritual self, transcends these planes as we evolve. So there's about 13 different dimensions that correspond with the 12 chakras and the Kundalini, which makes 13 as well. So we actually can connect with all of those. And
now with the, say, lots of people are probably certainly curious about the Mayans and how they could actually tune into this time. And has that got something to do with accessing this living library?
Well, yeah. I mean, in reality, the Mayans believe, the ancient Mayans and the ancestral heritage of the Mayans believe that the Mayan calendar they did not create. They believe it was given to them from the descendants of Atlantis, which are their forefathers. And so the Atlanteans also got that knowledge. No one created that knowledge on this earth. I mean, the calendar and everything is from a galactic perspective that we have no, we sitting here on Earth, we do not understand the galaxies the way that calendar was created. It's common sense. So there's a lot, the Mayan calendar has become the new religion, or, it's just another. People have to be careful. I mean, it's good to use that information. It's beautiful information, but let's, again, keep it in perspective of what it is. We have to be our own guru. We have to really start going inward to find our truth and balance so that we can connect to what the higher consciousness is and the pure element of truth. And then that guides us. That tells us everything we want to know.
It certainly seems that that's the theme of our times. I guess in times past there's been a real emphasis on finding that guru outside of ourselves, and it certainly feels as if that time has shifted to the inner journey and the inner connection with that divine light.
I agree, and I think what we're finding is that we have to be humble and and understand that it starts with humility, and really we shouldn't be following any gurus or any dogmas, because right now there's just so many. It's the new business of spirituality. There's everybody's a master, everybody's a guru, everybody's whatever, and we have to understand. It's just like the self-proclaimed masters. I mean, a lot of them are that, and it's like putting a Mercedes-Benz logo around your neck and calling yourself a car. You can't self-proclaim yourself to be something you're not,
right.
And you can't go and take and do a course and become a certificate enlightened master. I mean, enlightenment, this is such a stupid concept, and it shows where we are in our evolution. We have to get out of this. This is the new consciousness. We're not. That's not real. It's all our ego, and we're staying in this state of illusion. And the illusion keeps us at this lower density. We have to let go of this and stop trying to be something. Just be your connection to the divine. Be your own guru. Go directly within and imbibe those qualities of light. And when we realize that we are that light particle, and that's our connection, and through that, why do we have to go to take a course and pay $5,000 to wear a hat or to wear saffron robes, or it's just it becomes a business of the spirit, and it doesn't resonate when you have attached money. I mentioned this earlier. It's just when we attach money to spirituality, it loses its frequency. It cannot vibrate at a higher frequency because, in the higher frequencies and realms and dimensions, there is no money. There's nothing to do with money. So it's only in this lower density that we resonate in this, money this, money that, and people want to make a living, so I'll sell spirituality or an aspect of it. But, if we look at one of the metaphors of the Christian religion, and, of Jesus, when he went into the temple and started throwing down all of the people that were selling things in that temple, whatever that meant. But what I get out of it is just the reality of we can't attach spiritual to money. I mean, it's ridiculous to do that. So the churches that do it, all of these, this self-proclaimed masters and all of these businesses that have sprung up in the last 10, 15 years of, whatever they're called, and, I'm not going to pick on any one, but they all are money-oriented, and they're not spirit-oriented. They're usually power-oriented. And they said this has been the problem of our evolution, because we've always attached to these false teachings, whether the dogma of the church or the dogma of whatever it is, the religion. I follow this, I follow that, I'm attached to that. We have to get out of that. That's an illusion. We're attached to the light through our own connection to the divine, and then we all integrate as one drop in the ocean of the divine consciousness. That's what we are. And any other teaching or anything that tells us opposite can't be true. And don't believe what I say. Just if it vibrates, it's true. And if it doesn't vibrate, then you'll know it's not.
I guess that's why they call it the ring of truth, because it does move every way through the being.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.